Hi, Funmi. I want to get who else is there? Okay, me and one attendees have started joining. Okay, I want to get the so I'm sending you the link now. That's Hello, everyone. Hello, partners. Hello, esteemed um, panelists. Thank you for joining us today. We're just waiting. We wanted more people to join before we start. And as I wanted to give 5 minutes grace. However, we are sending a message to everyone. And so we're hoping more people join. It's nice to be here with you once again to discuss with our esteemed partners. And we hope you have been well. We hope you have been safe. And we hope that business has been booming for you. My name is Buraola Abulaton, and I lead the communications for eSettlement Limited and PayCentre. And this is one of the ways or avenue, this webinar is one of the ways or avenue in which we try to keep in touch with our agents and also ensure that we're able to impart some knowledge onto them. And, as we all know, bookkeeping and transaction reconciliation is really like a key part of being a POS business owner, because if you're not able to, keep your books, knows how much comes in, how much goes out, you're in the business of money, right? In the business of money, you need to be able to keep track. It's so easy to lose track of your finances so fast. And then more importantly, you're not able to know how many transactions, you're not able to track your business growth and all of that. So that's why we thought it was very, very important, to have this webinar where enlightened or experts in bookkeeping, accounting, transaction reconciliation can just impart, share their knowledge with us, and hopefully this helps us become better and bigger business owners. So welcome once again to PayCentre webinar. This webinar will try to have at least 2 or 3 per year. So we hope to see you soon. Thank you all partners for joining. I'm just going to please remember that if you have, so we are going to take questions at the end of the presentations by our speakers. So if you have questions, you can just note them down or share them in the chat. Hello, Agent Busayo. Thank you for joining. Thanks to everyone here. We're looking forward to more of our partners joining and learning. So if you have questions, just either drop them in the chat or just keep them in mind, and we're going to take it at the end of the webinar. And you can also follow us. If you haven't done so, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PayCentre Africa. That's our handle. Please ensure you follow the original page. I'm just going to share it here. And we're going to go. So right before I jump into introduction of the speakers, I just want to quickly do a quick face stream. So you can tell your other partners so they can actually join us on Facebook here, PayCentre Africa. So this Zoom meeting is also now being streamed. I can just even share the Facebook page here to make it easier. So this is our Facebook page. I'm sharing it. Excuse me for a minute. Love it. Welcome. more partners are joining. So yeah, we're really trying to get as much partners as possible to join in so that, we can have a really wonderful time and nobody is missing out. Welcome everyone that has just joined to Facebook's webinar on bookkeeping and transaction reconciliation. So I'm just going to quickly run us through an introduction of our speakers or our panelists here. So we're starting with Funmi. Funmi Kolawole is a senior accountant at eSettlement Limited here, and she has over 7 years work experience. She has worked with fintech companies, she has overseen accurate record keeping and reconciliation of accounting information. So we know that we're going to be learning a lot from Funmi today, and Funmi will be taking us through the importance. She's just going to help us understand, what is bookkeeping, why is it important, right? And how does it help business growth, right? So I'm really looking forward to Funmi's session because, before you can understand how something works or how to do something, you need to understand the why. Like, why is it important that you do so, right? And that's where Funmi comes in. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. After Funmi, our next panelist is an esteemed agent of ours. We're so excited. We really wanted a PayCentre agent, to come and share from their experience because we felt it was important. What better way to learn than someone that is doing that very thing is really helpful. So we have Mr. Oluwafemi Faturoti. Mr. Oluwafemi Faturoti is a disciplined and innovative educator. He has over 7 years teaching experience. So not only is he even an amazing PayCentre agent, he's also an educator. He's very passionate about development of every student, and he's currently a computer teacher at Marvelous Greatness College in Ibadan. He graduated from University of Ilorin. Oh, look at that. I graduated from University of Ilorin too. So that's really nice. Apart from being an educator, Mr. Oluwafemi is also a digital marketing manager, event decorator, and more importantly, a POS business owner, where is the PayCentre agent. And then, so we are really happy to have him on board here. So Mr. Femi will be taking us through the practical session, so he is going to be showing us how do you keep your books as a POS agent? How do you reconcile your transactions daily, right? So he's going to be taking on the hands-on part of the webinar. So I really hope our partners here, you have your books ready, you have your notes, everything. Let's get ready to learn. So without further ado, just before I call on Funmi to take us on her own part, I just wanted to mention once again, partners, if you have questions, we're going to be taking questions at the end of the session. So that is after Funmi and Mr. Femi have spoken. Then, you can also follow us on social media. I've just dropped our Facebook page. Oh, yes, I think someone was saying, they can hear now. So we've dropped our social media handles. We've dropped, our this webinar is also currently being live streamed on Facebook. So you can share our Facebook page, maybe to your friends to join and also learn with us. And we are going to be taking questions. We're going to be answering as much questions as possible. We also have some of our support team here in attendance. So they are going to be answering some of your questions, especially questions that do not necessarily have to do with why we are here today. So I can see that Mr. Obona has asked us a question now. Someone from our support team is going to answer that. However, if you have questions relating to today's topic, which is bookkeeping and transaction reconciliation, Funmi and Mr. Oluwafemi will be taking those. So thank you very much. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Funmi to take the stage or take the mic from me and just quickly run us through, what is bookkeeping, why is it important, and how, and why is bookkeeping and reconciliation important for POS agents, like yourself, and more importantly, how does it aid business growth? Thank you, everyone. Hi, Funmi, over to you.
All right, thank you, Raula. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon once again. Our partners, we are happy to have you here. Without you, this session would not have been holding. So it's really great to have you here. So like Muraola said, my assignment here is to make you, see the importance of bookkeeping. Why should I worry about keeping books? Why should I worry about keeping records? So that's my assignment here. And I hope I am able to achieve that. And I also hope it is worth your while, taking time out of your busy schedule to join this webinar. So I'll be sharing my screen. Uraola, please, I need to share my screen.
Okay, for me, 1 second. Let me give you access to this. Okay, so can you check that you can share it now? I have just given you access to be able to share your screen.
Okay, I'm able to share now. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes. Yes, I can confirm that I can see your screen. But I would love to hear from any of our agents. Can any of our partners confirm that they can see Funmi's screen? You can just drop your comments. Okay, yes, I can see that. Yes. Yes, some of our partners have confirmed that they can see your screen. Thanks, Funmi. May I proceed?
All right, thank you. All right, so without wasting time, so we'll just run through what's the importance of bookkeeping to business growth. And before we can talk about the importance of bookkeeping, let's quickly just have an understanding what is bookkeeping in itself. I have here, bookkeeping is a process of recording and organizing all the business transactions that have occurred in the course of the business. It largely focuses on recording day-to-day financial transactions of the business. So please take notes. Bookkeeping has to do with recording and organizing. Note the words organizing. It has to be organized. It's not something that's should be done anyhow. It should be done in an organized way, in a way that, come any day, anytime. It will make sense to whoever is looking at it. And it involves you recording all the transactions that have, occurred, that have taken place in the course of a business, the day-to-day transaction of a business. So what that means is not that you keep proper records today, and tomorrow you don't keep proper records, maybe until another 1 week, you go back to proper record keeping, and another time you don't do it. So it won't really make sense that way. It has to be a day-to-day, painstaking, regular, every transaction that has occurred in the course of the business, your business, our business. I have here examples of financial transactions that you can or that you should record. I have your sales or your commission. This is important. This is an important information in the life of any business. What is your sales? What is the commission that you're making? How much have you received for the business that you're doing? Beyond your sales and your commission, what is the cost of that sales? So take, for instance, someone comes for cash withdrawal and pays you 100 naira as your commission. That is your commission. But what is the cost that you are paying for that commission of 100 naira that you have earned? You need to also, take notice of that in your recording of your financial transaction. And you also need to record your expenses. Your expenses for your type of business remain maybe your rent. So wherever you're using, you pay a rent is your expense, your POS attendants, the salaries that you pay to them, or if you are the one running your business, you would have estimated that. this is how much I am paying myself as salary for this, for my time in running the business. And then local government rates, all these local government officials that come to say, you're paying this much for this business. So local government rates, repairs, cost of whatever cost you incur in repairing a padlock, padlock is no more working, you repair or you buy another one, you need to fix your kiosk, you need to fix anything, you need to also have record of that. Your stationaries, your books, the books you use for recording, the pen, no matter anything, provided it has to do with the business, whatever you are expending in running the business, for phone calls, for airtime, for transportation, you need to record that. Assets. Assets is what you use in running the business for the last more than 1 year. For instance, your kiosk, you don't expect that you will buy kiosk every other month. So once you construct a kiosk, expectedly, it should last you for more than 1 year. It should last you for 2, 3, 4 years, provided it's a good one. So those type of investment into your business, we call it assets because it spans over 1 year. And in bookkeeping, you also need to, take note of how much you incur, how much it has cost you to make that kiosk, your chairs, your tables. So typically, these are the kind of things we regard as assets in accounting. Although I wouldn't want to bore you with all of that details, you just help with bookkeeping and leave the rest to accountants to come at the end of the day. Apologies, there was a disruption. Sorry, I'm back with you. Yes, so I have here, ensure to keep receipts, invoices, all receipts that you have for payments that you are making for your business. Please ensure to keep it. And then it's also important that you include description for transfer you're making. Maybe you make transfer from your bank account. Please, it is important that you include description. Let's form that habit of including description. So for instance, you're paying salaries, put it there, May salary, April salary. Let it be detailed. Or I am purchasing, this transfer I'm making is for chairs, tables. So I hope you get the message. Ensure you put description for every transfer you're making. Reason is there is limit to what you can remember. There is limit to how long your memory can serve you, but records will always be there so that come in the distant future, in 1 year, in 2 years, when you look at that thing, when you look at the record you have kept, you'll be able to remember that, oh, this transfer that I made is for this purpose. And the important thing, the interesting thing is everyone, regardless, can keep proper books of accounts. I know someone close to me, my dad to be precise, he does not have high school education, but I can tell you that he's very good at record keeping. You want to know how much it costs how much the cost was to put a structure together or to have done anything. It will just bring out the records, it will bring out the receipts, and I'm always amazed at his attention to record keeping. And largely that's what everyone should imbibe. If you're going to have proper record of your business, or you want to know how your business is tracking, you need to really imbibe that habit of record keeping. Yes, so we'll just quickly run through how bookkeeping can help us in the course of our business. So I have here, bookkeeping provides information that can be used to create financial reports. And what is that essence of financial report? That financial report is just to tell you how much profits that you have made in your business, in the course of your business, how much profit you have made and how much you have made at a particular point in time. If there is no record, how will you be able to know how much you have made? At best, what you can do is maybe a guesswork to say, oh, I think I started this business with say 100,000, and now I have 150,000. Don't be deceived. You cannot say that I have made profits of 50,000. I started with 100,000. Now I have 150,000. So I can conclude that I have made a profit of 150,000. Far from it. Apologies. I started with 100. Now I have 150. I've made profits of 50,000. No, you will be wrong if you're trying to guess your profitability that way. You need to drill down. You need to check further. Who says that excess 50,000 is yours? I am hoping that when Mr. Oluwafemi takes his session, it will help you know why you cannot just assume that the 50,000 overage is your profit. I have also been privileged to run this business, POS business, and I do my reconciliation, and I see at times some monies that you have, they are not yours. So you cannot just conclude to say, I have made this much profit because my money is now worth this. But if you drill down to see what your sales is, what your cost is, how much your expenses are, and you bring all of those numbers together, you subtract your costs from your sales, your expenses from whatever you have left, then you can be able to say, okay, this is how much profit I have made to date, and my business is worth this. And even any accountant that is coming in with all of that records that you have put together, the accountant will be able to, prepare proper financial reports that will give you the true picture of your business. Bookkeeping also helps you in decision making. When you keep proper books of record, when you keep proper records, you are able to make better decisions. You can decide on your pricing because you know how much your sales is, how much your cost is. You can say, okay, because I want everybody in this area to come to me for their transaction, rather than charge this much for transaction, I will reduce it by, say, 10%. I'll reduce my price by 10%. And from what I have seen from my record, if I reduce it by 10%, I will still be profitable. When you don't keep proper books, you will not be able to make that decision. But when you keep proper books, you are able to make pricing decisions, and you are also able to better manage your expenses. It's not that you will just wake up to say, oh, I am happy. I see that from record of commission on day 1, day 2, day 3, when I add up everything, I have 150,000 naira commission this month. And because of that, I am happy with my sales rep. I'm going, instead of paying him or her 15,000, I'm going to pay him 30,000. Who says that if you pay 30,000, you're still profitable? But if you keep proper books of accounts and you look at everything holistically, you look at everything, then you are able to make better decisions. Okay, sales improved this month. I need to encourage my staff. I need to pay her more. Okay, so maybe to help the business so that the business continues to run, instead of paying 30,000. So let me just pay say 20,000. At least you're paying extra, but you're not paying more than what you should have paid. You're not paying so much in a way that it would affect the business. The summary of bookkeeping helping you to make decision is, it just puts the figure right there in front of you. You see everything as it is, and then you are able to make the right decision. How much expenses that you can incur, how much expenses how much you can expend in the course of your business, because you have proper books of accounts. Bookkeeping, when you keep proper records too, it will help you in planning. How much of your historical performance do you know? How much of your past performance do you know? Maybe if you keep proper book, if you keep proper record, then you will have all of those historical data. You will know that in January, say 2022, I made this much. February 2022, I made this much, months on months like that, or even weekly. So it helps you, that at this particular time of this month, or at this particular time of the year, I do so much transaction, or I do more of cash withdrawals than deposits. I do so much. People come to pay bills at this time of the month more than this time of the month. When you keep records, you are able to have that much details, and it can help you in planning your business. It can help you in planning your finance. When you know that at this time of the month, so many people come for withdrawals, you're able to know that, oh, okay, I need to have so much cash at this time so that I am able to meet that need. Or at this time, withdrawal tend to drop, deposit tend to increase. You know that I need to keep so much in my wallet to attend to those that are coming for deposits. Believe you me, if you keep your records that detailed, you'll be able to have that much details that will help you in planning your business. And when you plan your business, you can be sure that you will grow. You'll be able to attend to customers' needs. You'll be able to, make so much sales. So please, it is important that we keep proper books, proper records. And in the course of your business, as you run your business, keeping your books, your business grows to a particular extent that you need external finance. You need to get loans from banks. Nobody is going to listen to you, they won't listen to your word of mouth. If you go to a bank to say, I need a loan of, say, 1 million. Okay, so let's see. You're asking for 1 million. Why are you asking for 1 million? With your records, with the book that you have kept, you can show to the bank to say, see, over time, over the years, I've been able to make this much, in a month. I've made 250,000. So if you give me 1 million, I am able to repay your 1 million in the next 12 months. If you're able to show that record to a bank and they look at it, they can say, okay, I think we can talk. We are delighted to see you grow. And really, that's our wish. That's what makes us happy, that our partners grow. You grow to the extent that you need to raise external finance. Who says you can talk to Bank of Industry? They give small businesses, SMEs, they give them loans, but you cannot go to them with words of mouth. You need to show them your record. You need to show them your books. You need to show them your numbers. And that is what they will look at to give you whatever finance you're looking for. So please, it helps in raising finance for your business. So it is important that you keep proper record. And then I have here, bookkeeping helps you, it keeps you prepared for tax, especially if you're registered as a limited liability company. You know, the government of the land will come to you to say you need to pay tax. So how do you determine how much to pay for tax? Or how will your tax consultant be able to help you to say this is how much you should pay for tax? If you don't keep proper books of record, you are likely going to pay more taxes than you should have paid. But if you keep proper books of record, so you have the luxury to deduct all your expenses, to deduct every necessary cost of that business. And then you determine the amount, that is left in terms of profitability. And then a certain percentage of that you will pay as tax. But if you don't keep proper books of accounts, you don't have all of that details, you're likely going to end up paying more tax than you should have paid. So that will be about all of the points that we'll consider in importance of bookkeeping. And I'll conclude like this. Bookkeeping activities is as important as business activities. Really, bookkeeping activities is as important as business activities. So as you're putting so much effort in your business, ensure you commit that same effort to record keeping so that you can track, so that you can monitor, so that everything can work together to take, that business ministry to the permanent site that we're looking to take it to. Yes, so I've been, I've run you through the importance of bookkeeping, and I am hoping that you will apply it in the course of your business. So in case, maybe in the course of trying to, keep record of your business, you might encounter maybe any challenge, or you might see anything that's not too clear, and you need to maybe ask questions. So we have on the screen, if you need to contact us, our support line, WhatsApp number, and our email address. If you reach out on this, you can be sure that it will be directed to the appropriate portals for response to your query. And I'll wrap it up here by saying thank you for listening.
Thank you so very much, Funmi. That was such an enlightening session. That was such an enlightening session. I have definitely learned a lot. Funmi really, really touched on the importance of bookkeeping for everyone, and what the things that the records that you must keep. So I really love that. If you have questions about Funmi's session, you can either drop them in the Q&A. There's a question and answer slot here, or you can just keep them. When we are done, we are going to take questions, and then Funmi will be happy to answer them. So just before we move to Mr. Femi, who is going to be showing us the practical aspects. Okay, so now, Funmi has really told us, okay, what's bookkeeping, what are the things you need to, keep, or what are the details you need to keep in your book, and then more importantly, why do you need to keep your books? So Mr. Femi will be showing us, how to keep your book in quotes, and then more importantly, how to reconcile your transactions. So don't forget that, the money you have in, the profits you've made, the money you have going out, how much you've spent, maybe like on fuel, on your kiosk, like what are your assets and everything. Those are some of the key things to keep in mind when you want to start keeping books for your transaction. So we have some of our support. I can see that some agents have also been dropping questions about PayCentre generally, or transactions and our features in the chat, which I love. So some of our support staff are also here to respond. I can see that some other agents too are also responding. So we really, really appreciate you. We appreciate everyone. And now I'm just going to be handing over the mic to Mr. Femi. Mr. Oluwafemi is a PayCentre agent like you, and he's a seasoned educator. He's passionate about, enlightening and sharing knowledge. And we are happy to have him here today to show us how to keep your books and reconcile transactions as a POS agent. And yeah, I can see that some participants have their hands raised. Thank you for raising your hands. When it's time for our question and answer, you are going to be the first to ask your question. So Mr. Femi, over to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, my dear colleagues. Good afternoon, Funmi. I really appreciate your teaching, and it was so interesting. So it's part of what I have in my slide to share before, but you have touched almost every part of it, which is very okay with me. So without wasting much of our time, I will start with this. Most of us, the reason why we face challenges in our businesses is because we don't keep a proper record of our transactions. And it really affects a lot of business, because if you don't keep transactions, how will you be able to identify where a problem comes from? And another challenge I've take notice over time is most of us, we don't separate our businesses from ourselves. Your business is an entity on its own, whereas you as a person, you are an entity on your own. There is a need for you to separate your business from yourself. Let's assume we run a POS business, and I want to buy a shirt, and I just went to where I keep my money at 3,000 naira from there. I just went to buy a shirt. To us, we think after it is our money, we can spend it anyhow. Well, to the business, it's really going to affect the business. How will you account for it? Under which expenses are you going to categorize that on? So that is why we have to change our mindset that our business is an entity on its own, and we as a person, we are entity on our own. So there is a need for us to separate the two. Over the years, I've been with PayCentre, and it has been a wonderful experience for me. Although I was once like every other person, I don't keep proper record. And sorry, I'm trying to share my slide. But the moment I begin to keep proper record, I discovered that I can do a lot more than just doing my business. I'm sorry, give me a minute, please. Slide. So I will be showing us the practical way of keeping our record. I'm having a little challenge here. Sorry. I want to, yes. Sorry, I think it has been shared. I want to play it so that I can
Slideshow.
yes. It's on there. Okay. Thank you. So without wasting much of our time, I will just go through the practical aspect of it. She has said a lot of things about bookkeeping and the importance of keeping your record. So here is the deal. Here is the format that I use for my own business. With this, I use my computer to record my transactions, and at the same time, I have a book on its own where I record my transactions. So I have two different books for my business. So this is the digital aspect of it. Every day before I start a business, the first thing I will have to do is to write the date. Like today is 16th day of the June 2022. And thereafter, after the date, I will come here. I will write opening balance. I have two opening banners. If you look at my screen here, so if you look at my screen here, I have the cash in hand, and I also have a wallet balance. This wallet balance is in two ways. I merge my bank account that is linked to my POS with the wallet balance. I merge the two of them together, which is going to give me a sum of 30,500 naira. And the cash I have in hand is 20,000. That is the first thing you have to do. That is your opening balance. And thereafter, as the day goes by, this record number 2 here is for a cash withdrawal, which is 6,000 naira. How do you record this? It has to be recorded on that cash withdrawal, cash out, which is 6,000 naira. And apart from that, you have to charge your customer, which is at least 100 naira, which is the normal rate. You charge them, you are going to record it, and at the same time, you are going to record your operational cost, which is the amount PayCentre is charging on that 6,000 naira, which is 33.32 kobo. 33 naira 32 kobo. You have to record it. It is very important because that is how you will be able to ascertain at the end of the day how much you are charged on all the transactions that you carried out. And thereafter, if you look at the 6,000 naira, you are giving out cash, which is going to affect your cash in hand. Which means once you are giving out 6,000 naira from the money with you, it's going to remain 14,100 naira. Originally, 6,000 minus 20,000 naira will be 14,000. But you have to include the 100 naira the customer is paying you to make it 14,100 naira. So the next thing you are going to do is that there is going to be a change in your wallet balance, which is the amount they are going to credit your wallet. So that will give us 36,566 naira 0.68 kobo. You may be wondering that why are we having kobo in our account? It is very essential. It is very compulsory that kobo is there. Over time, it will accumulate and it will turn to naira. It will be no more kobo. So there is no way you can't do without it. It is very important. And the next, if you look at the number 3 on my list, you see that there is a Oluwafemi with a bank account and the name of the bank that I'm transferring to. I'm transferring to an account. So there is a need for me to include the name of the account I'm sending to, the account number, and the bank I'm sending to, so that at the end of the day, there is any error, if there is any mistake, I will be able to identify which particular transaction has problem. So I'm transferring now 10,000 naira to a customer. and the customer will be giving me cash. And this 10,000 naira, I'm going to charge the customer 200 naira. So, and the operational cost, that is the amount PayCentre will be charging, will be 26 naira 97 kobo. So it's not going to affect, it's going to affect my cash in hand. Now that I'm receiving money from someone, it's going to affect my cash in hand. So there's a need for me to add the 10,000 naira with the 14,000 naira I'm having before, which will be amounted to 24,100. Plus the 200 naira I'm charging the customer, since the customer is giving me cash. So there is a need for me to add it to the cash in hand, which will be amounted to 24,300 naira. Since I'm transferring out from my wallet to another customer's bank account, it's going to affect my wallet. It's going to affect my wallet balance. So it will be 10,000 naira minus the 36,000 naira I'm having before, which will be amounted to 26,539 naira 0.71 kobo. If we look further as well, you will see number 4, you see a paper roll. Most of us that use the big POS, there is a need for us to buy paper roll, which we are going to use in the transaction. So there is a need for us to include it in our account. So that is why we have paper roll here. And paper roll, let's assume that a paper roll will cost 2,500 naira. So that is why I have to record it under transactional charges, which is 2,500 naira. So I'm paying in cash. That is why it's going to affect the cash balance that I have, which is 24,300 naira. After deducting the 2,500 naira from 24,300 naira, I'm going to have 21,800 naira. And moving further, because in our business, there are a lot of transactions that we carried out, apart from cash out, apart from transfer, we also carry out bill payments, which include subscription of cable TVs, which include selling of airtime and the likes. So the next one is on my list is a DSTV subscription, which is a younger because it has different categories. So I'm using younger as an example, and I'm including the IUC number of the customer to highlight the account that I'm paying into. In case there is a problem, I will be able to trace which one has a problem. So which is 31,000 naira. And I'm going to charge the customer 100 naira, which means I'm collecting money from the customer. Now I'm receiving money. So it's going to affect both my cash in hand and my wallet balance, which means 3,100 naira plus 21,800 naira will give us 24,900, including the 100 naira I'm collecting from the customer. It will be 25,000 naira. And which thereafter is going to affect my balance because I'm using my wallet balance to do the transaction. So 3,100 naira from the original 26,539 naira 0.71 kobo. It will now be, well, I'm now going to be left with 23,439 naira 0.71 kobo. So moving, if you continue to look at it this way, you see how the transaction is being carried out and how it is being recorded. So which means if you are receiving money from customer, the customer wants to do transfer, it's going to affect, take note of it, it's going to affect both your cash in hand and it's also going to affect your wallet balance. And in the cost of the business, maybe you are going to bank to make withdrawal, maybe you are going to shop, maybe you are going anywhere in the process of doing business. So let's just say T-fare, which is 400 naira. Since I'm going to pay either Okadama or Tricycle or Cabman, it's going to affect my cash in hand, which is will be I will deduct 400 naira from 2,600 naira. I mean, 26,000, which will be 25,600 naira. If you take a look at this structure very well, you will discover that on each transaction that I am carrying out, I always arrive at a particular balance, which means there is no way at the end of the day, if I should try to merge the two accounts together, I'm still going to get the same, although it's going to increase due to the fact that I'm receiving commission, which is the money we charge our customer, is going to increase. So at the end of the day, after the whole business day, I will have to sit down. I will have to add all these transactional charges. I will have to add them together to arrive at a total. And at the same time, what I'm going to do is to add the cash in hand at the end of the day with my wallet balance, which will be, I'm not going to, after getting the total, I'm not going to subtract the amount that I incur in the process of doing the business. I'm going to subtract it from the balance. So which means at the end of the day, if the money when I was doing the business, the cash in hand and wallet balance is 50,500 naira, which means at the end of the day, after deducting the transactional charges, I'm going to deduct the amount, which is 50,500 naira that I started the business with in the money. I'm going to deduct it from the remaining money after deducting the transactional, transactional charges. I'm going to deduct it. Then the remaining one will be, what do we call it in accounting? I think it is gross profit. It is not yet net profit. Because in the process of doing business, maybe a customer come into our shop and try to make a withdrawal, and in the process, the transaction was declined. And later on, the customer was debited, because I've witnessed many cases whereby customer will come for withdrawal, and at the end of the day, the transaction will not be successful. And in the process, they will debit the customer. I will have to lodge a complaint through my mobile app that so transaction has been declined and customer was debited. So in case the money was being credited into my account, there is a need, before I forget, there is a need for us as an agent to make the agent website, agent platform our friend. It is very essential and very compulsory. We have to make agent portal, PayCentre agent portal friend, because there are sometimes that you will lodge a complaint about a failed transaction, and actually your account has been credited. It will not show in our mobile app that so amount has been credited, but it will reflect on our agent portal that so amount has been credited into our account. So maybe you carry out a transaction today, and tomorrow you carry a transaction and there is a problem with the transaction, and you lodge a complaint, and later tomorrow they now credited your account. If you are doing account for tomorrow, that money will reflect at the end of the day. By the time you do all calculation, you will think maybe you have made profit. But when you check your agent portal very well, you will be able to identify maybe, okay, the transaction that you lodged the complaint about yesterday has been credited to your account. So there is a need for you to deduct that from your balance at the end of the day before you can arrive at a profit. Please take note of it. So moving next, there are some of us, we may not like that idea of keeping transaction at the same place. Some of us may decide to, okay, I want to be writing my expenses separately. you can actually write your expenses this way. You can actually write your expenses this way, which means maybe you pay one of your workers' salary. Let's assume you pay Demilade's salary, which is 20,000 naira. In the process of going to bank to go and make withdrawal, you know, if you use your ATM card 3 times in a month, after the third transaction, the next one they will charge you 35 naira if you are not using the bank. Maybe you are using Access Bank and you are withdrawing from GTB Bank. They are going to charge you 35 naira. So there is a need for you to record that expenses because it is also expenses in the process of doing business. So there is a need for you to record it. As we have it in the other bank slide where we have TFID, which is transportation, which is 400 naira. You can write it in your expenses account. Paper roll, which is 5,000 naira. At the end of the day, all the expenses that you incur in the course of doing the business, you are going to sum them together. So you just come back to your book, your transaction book. After you subtract the transactional charges from the closing balance, you are still going to deduct the expenses that you incur in the course of the day, which will now give you the remaining balance will be your profit for the day. And there are some of us as well that have more than one store. There are some of us that have what do we call it now, like 2, 3, or 4 different stores. After doing your record keeping, the way we see it in the first slide, at the end of the day, when you arrive at your closing balance, all you have to do is to deduct the previous balance, which is for previous day, from the closing balance, which is for the new day. Maybe yesterday is 15. Let's assume that the 200,000 naira that we have here in store A was on the 15th, the transaction that you carried out on the 15th. So today, which is the 16th now, there is a need for you to deduct the previous balance from the old balance. That is how you can know whether you are making profit or you are making loss. And as I've rightly said before that, there will be sometimes that your account will be credited with some money. Maybe customer money, a transaction that fails. There is a need for you to identify it. That is why I put on cleared balance here. The reason why I put on clear balance here is to be able to identify that, okay, this, I saw 5,000 naira credited to my account. I don't know who is the owner. And, you know, after you lodge a complaint, at the end of the day, it's like they will send what do we call it now, a message to the customer that go and meet Mr. Oluwafemi and collect your money. His account has been credited. So the customer, it is when the customer now comes to your shop to, I received a message, they asked me to come and collect my money from you. You will be able to identify, okay, where is your card? There is a need for you to compare the card number. Every card, every transaction has something like this. Like this number 2 now is 5098. That is the number that ends the ATM card that withdraw this 6,000. So you are going to ask for the customer card in order to be able to identify that, okay, is this card, maybe this is the card that did the transaction or not. So there is a need for you to, that is why I put this minus 5,000, because it is not your money. Don't assume that it is your money. It is not your money. The owner is coming for it. And if you look at store B, you will discover that store B, the previous balance is 5,100 naira, 501,000 naira. And when you close the business for the day, you have 509,800 naira. So the profit for the day is 7,800 naira. And there is no unclear balance. Another example here, number 3, which is part 3. You will discover that at the end of the day, there is a minus 1,100 naira, which means the store run at loss of 1,100 naira. For you to be able to identify where the problem is, there is, let's assume that you transfer, let's assume that you transfer 6,300 naira to someone by mistake. And the customer, after transferring the money, you are able to trace the customer, you call the customer, and the customer now has promised to send the money later, or maybe the cost of the day you carry out the transaction, and there is one of your transactions that was not credited into your account, and the transaction was successful. There is a need for you to identify this 6,300 naira. So at the end of the day, you will realize 11,300 naira is your share uncleared balance. So that is it. So moving to reconciliation. How do you reconcile your accounts? Reconciliation simply means is the process of comparing internal financial record and statement from external source. In this process, internal financial record is talking about your own record book, the book you, your transaction record book, the transaction you carry out throughout the day. That is your own internal record. Now, when we talk about the external source, which is, it can be bank statement or other financial institution. In this aspect, we are talking about your agent wallet. There is a need for you to compare the two records. That is how you can reconcile your account. Because some of us, just after the whole business day, all we do is how much did I start with? How much did I end up with? You just deduct it. You have arrived, you have gotten your profit. No. Because if you don't compare these things, problem will always arise. Because there will be some money that will have been credited into your account, as I said in the beginning, and you have not taken notice of because you failed to check your agent portal, which means it will not be reflecting in your mobile wallet, but it will be reflecting in your PayCentre portal. So there is a need for you to compare the one you use your own hand to write and the one in your agent portal. There is a need for you to compare the two. It is when you compare the two that you will be able to identify, okay, where is the problem coming from? What are the challenges? Okay, oh, I did not take note of this. You will be able to differentiate which money is your own and which money is not your own. And at the end of the day, you will be able to align the two documents together and you will be able to arrive at a conclusion. So moving forward, yes, don't mind me, don't mind my handwriting. This is how I keep my record before when I first start my agency business. So there is a need for you to compare this, which is the one you use your hand to write, and your agent portal transactions. There is a need for you to compare the two. If you look at the first transaction, you will see TT, which means is the transaction that is successful, that is being credited into your account. Now look at the second one, you will see RTT, which is a reversed transaction that was carried out. I sent 200 naira to Dada Kende, but the transaction the money was not delivered to the customer's account, so they later reversed it back into my own account. This transaction will not reflect in your mobile app. It can only reflect on your agent portal. But if you don't make your agent portal your friend, there will be a problem. But if you are able to At the end of the day, you are able to cross-check the one you record with your hand and the one you have in your agent portal. You will be able to identify, okay, which money is your own, which money is not your own, and you will be able to arrive at a reasonable conclusion at the end of the day. So if the customer now come later and say, I asked you to send money to me yesterday, you did not send it, what happened? You will be able to say, sorry, it was network problem. I actually sent the money, but it was being reversed back into my account. If you can show your customer this, your customer will know that, okay, oh yeah, I need to resend it. But if you don't check your agent portal, you will not know this because it will not reflect in your agent mobile app. So moving forward, why do we need to reconcile our accounts at the end of the day? Bank reconciliation ensure an accurate transaction and posting. You will be able to ensure that, okay, this transaction, I forgot to record it, this one, I did not record this. You will be able to know the ones you record and the ones you did not record. You will be able to compare the two together and be able to realize where you made mistakes. Number two reason why you have to reconcile your account. Bank reconciliation helps in identifying and avoiding errors before it is too late. Some of us, we don't reconcile account, we believe that I will do it later. You are procrastinating, maybe you will do it over the weekend or you do it at the end of the month. No, our business does not permit us to carry over any reconciliation. You have to reconcile your account every day to avoid problems. So that you will not be like, after I made this transaction, why did I have this here? Why did I have this error? It's because you don't keep, you don't do proper reconciliation. I will give a very simple example. There was a time that I had a policeman to send some amount of money to another person. And in the process, I sent the money, he saw that the money went because it will always show success, that is, you have sent the money. But later on, after 3 days, the policeman just came back and said, I asked you to send money to someone. The person did not receive it. You are a thief, you are this and that. I was like, I feel so embarrassed. But in the course of checking my agent portal, I was able to identify that the money was actually reversed back to my account. But because I failed to check my agent portal, I have to bear that insult, that embarrassment and all those things. But at the end of the day, I just have to beg and say, I'm sorry. It is not my fault. It was actually reversed back to my account, but I failed to check. So you have to make sure that you reconcile your account every day in order to identify and avoid error before it is too late. And the third one is bank reconciliation statement is used to identify possible delay. Possible delay in check clearance. In the course of doing business, we have some of us that also use other platform. You will discover there will be sometimes that you carry out transaction, the transaction will be successful, but your account will not be credited. It may delay like 24 hours before the money will be credited into your account. But if you don't reconcile your account, how will you be able to identify which money is not being credited or which one is being credited by error? But if you are able to identify, if you are able to do your reconciliation, you will be able to identify where there is a delay. So these are the reasons why we have to reconcile our account every day. Now, how often should we reconcile? How often should reconciliation be done or be performed? I put it to you that reconciliation should happen on a daily basis. As I said earlier on a daily basis to eliminate any possible of fraud or financial irregularity. Usually, organizations reconcile the statement once in a month. Monthly reconciliation may lead to a lot of anomalies. That is a lot of problems. You will just be doing account, you will discover that I'm doing this account, but I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get. What is the problem? is because you have delayed your reconciliation. Because some of us, we did up to 200, 250, 300 transactions in a day. Now calculate 300 transactions by 7, which will be amounted to 2,100 transactions in a week. If you fail to do that reconciliation every day, it will cause a lot of problem when you want to do it at the end of the week. So there is a need for us to carry out our reconciliation every day. Compare your record, the one you written in your book and the one you have in your agent account, your agent portal. There is a need for you to compare this, and you will be able to arrive at a reasonable conclusion. So as I was saying, monthly reconciliation may lead to a lot of anomalies in your bank balance and your book balance. That is your agent balance and your record, the one you wrote with your own heart. There is going to be a lot of problems there. It's not going to balance. There will be a lot of mistake, and it will keep piling up if you don't do it every day. That is why bank reconciliation statements should be prepared accurately on a daily basis. Moving forward. So I have this simple analogy here. Keeping your record of your day-to-day business transaction will save you a lot of stress and missing fund. Inculcate the habit of bookkeeping. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Oluwafemi, for such an enlightening session. Like, even though I work at PayCentre, the things I have learned today, thank you so very much. Like, so everyone is thanking you. Like, this is really, really so enlightening. And you even now finished on time. So we have a lot of opportunities to take questions. So I just want to quickly recap. I know that our speakers, they've done justice to this, and we really, really hope that, our partners, both the ones here, both your friends that you go and tell, don't worry, we are recording this session. We are going to post it on our YouTube, and we'll share the link to you. So you can share this. You can even come and watch this video again many times in case there's one part that maybe you want to understand, like in the table, maybe you want to know, okay, what are the details to include and everything. We'll share the video to you. You can watch it as many times as possible to learn. So we're going to be taking questions now. And I'm going to be starting with the first 3 attendees that have raised up their hand. Please note that your questions must be about this topic and what has been discussed so far. If you have questions around maybe transactions or anything, please put it there in the chat, and our customer support team will be responding to you. However, the questions we'll be taking right now on this our webinar are questions around bookkeeping, transactions, reconciliation that our experts, speakers, and panelists can respond on. So I have I think Infinix Hot or Blessing Peter. Let me start with Blessing Peter. I'm going to be unmuting your mic now, Blessing Peter. Please remember to keep your questions short as possible so that our panelists will have time to respond to them properly. Okay, so first is Blessing Peter. Hi, Blessing Peter. Good evening. Or is it good afternoon? It's still afternoon. Your mic is muted. I'm sending you a request to mute your mic now.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. I really appreciate this session. In fact, I'm excited. So what I want to really ask is, because I'm using the MPOS now.
Okay.
And at times when I make a transaction, sometimes I will even forget the balance I have earlier. And if I make a transaction, the money will just add immediately. So what I'm trying to ask is, how do I know the charge that PayCentre take per transaction that I make? For every transaction I make, how will I know that this is their particular charge for it? And how do I get to know the previous balance that I have before? Because I just bring this in. I have one other POS I'm using. So that POS, there's a place that we can, on the application, there's a place that I can go to at the end of the day to see the transaction that I've made. Okay, when I did a transfer of 2,000 naira, maybe I was having 20,000 naira. They will now show me, okay, this was the balance you now have. Now it's now 18,000 naira for every transaction. So
Okay.
that's what I'm asking. How do I know the charges they take?
Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thank you, Blessing. So I think I can take part of this. I think part of this, and I think eventually I will also have to bring up our product team here so that they can just respond to some of these questions. So I know that, for example,
Okay.
cash out, when you want to do transaction, the charge is shown on the screen. I would need to confirm, but also I have now shared our charge here for everyone. Maybe I should, yes. Let me reshare it again. Then, Mr. Femi, do you have any response in regarding to how knowing what our balance is? I think if you are keeping record, you should. Do you include what your balance was as at the time you did that transaction?
You know,
Yes.
what I'm asking. Okay.
Okay. Let Mr. Femi just take
Ah.
this. They'll take it from.
Okay.
That is why I emphasize too much on it during the course of my presentation, that there is a need for you to make the agent portal your friend. Because every transaction you carried out, the details is there. It will show the previous balance you are having. And after you carry out the transaction, it will show the new balance there.
Okay.
Did you understand? And when you want to do a transaction and maybe someone want to withdraw 5,000, it will show on your screen. It will show on your screen that you are about to carry so transaction, and it will show the amount is going to, the PayCentre is going to charge you. It's going to show, like I have it here, I think it's around 25 point something naira that they do charge on 5,000, which means before you carry out the transaction, it's going to show on your screen that this is the amount PayCentre is going to charge you before
I'm using
carry out
the
the transaction.
MPOS. Sorry, sir. I'm using the MPOS. So the way it is, I need to connect it with my phone. When I click on withdraw, they will tell me to write the amount. Then there's one thing they write, then they will write card. So on that platform, there's no way
It's there.
I'm still doing it like now. It's not there.
Let me show you.
They don't bring it up.
Let me show you my mobile.
But I mean, more important is this is even feedback for us, and I know my product team is also listening. Maybe we need to make it clearer.
I've tried to do it. What they are bringing up, yes, ma'am. What they are bringing up is after they say how much that the customer wants to withdraw, the amount, I'll put in the amount. Then they will say select withdrawal type, either card or cardless. Continue. So they don't tell me, okay, this is the amount they are charging. Immediately I continue, they will just say enter the PIN of the customer and they will charge it directly. So I don't really know.
No, sorry,
I
Blessing Peter.
Using the terminal because I don't know.
Sorry, Blessing Peter. Are you hold on?
Yes,
this is my own app. This is my own app. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to carry out a transaction of 5,000 naira. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. The convenience fee is the amount they are going to charge.
This one is for transfer now. This one is for transfer.
No, this is for withdrawal.
This cash out. This cash out. Yeah.
This is cash out.
It's not coming up like that in my own. Does that mean that then another app?
Where is your location?
My location
maybe
is Apapa.
Where's our closest office? You know what, Blessing Peter, what I would say is, can you send me your details? You can message me personally, the Settlement Limited account. I'll forward your number to the office closest to you. They will reach out to you. So another person is saying theirs doesn't show. So Blessing Peter, we'll need to check a screenshot. So if some agents are not seeing the convenience fee and the VAT fee, then that's something that we need to fix. Because I'm seeing another agent here, Thomas John, saying it to his own doesn't show. So we'll need to look into that. So if it's possible for you to just drop your details for me here. She's using the MPOS. What's your phone?
Drop my name.
Yeah, you can just message me personally so that your number, so that we
how will I know?
I'm e-settlement limited. If you search for maybe host or in the host and panelists or Ebun Oguntibet, that's like one of our team members who is our design lead. So you can also just, can you see it on the app?
E-settlement limited.
Yes.
On the
so,
app.
no, sorry, I meant on this chat, Zoom that you're using.
No, I'm not saying you.
Can you click on participants when you want to send a chat? That place that has everyone. If you click on it, it will bring up names. Yes.
Host and
I should be
panelists.
the first. Yes.
Did I click
Yes.
on the host and panelists?
Yes. Then just send your
So
details
I
there
should
so that we. Yes. So
just
just
my name, Abby.
name and your name and agent ID or phone number. So that
Okay.
yeah. So we'll reach out. We'll get screenshots. We'll look into that. I mean, if you. And so Thomas John too is saying he only sees convenience fee for transfer, but not for withdrawal. So that's something that we need to work on. Thank you so very much for bringing this to our attention. But for every other person, when you want to do cash out transfer, your convenience fee is shown. So we'll show you how much we are going to be charging on that particular transaction. Mr. Tosin wanted to actually respond to some part of the question. So I'm going to be unmuting him now. Mr. Tosin, I don't know if you want to answer the same, maybe like what you wanted to answer. We have answered it. But please just, yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, you have answered it, but what I want to say is that if she always go to her transaction is on the mobile portal, she'll be able to see her last balance and the balance after each transaction. So every of the transactions shows, even the one that was not successful, it will still show you your previous balance and your present balance. So with that, you'll be able to know if the transaction was successful or not. So it's always on the portal like that. And from the difference, you'll be able to know the charges.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Tosin, for that. Yes, that is accurate. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, Blessing, thank you very much for your question. I'll be expecting your details so that we can take it up. And okay, thanks. Thank you so much. So next, I'm going to be meeting Infinix. The name is just like the person's name is not there. So I hope that when you are unmuted, you just tell us your name and then you ask your question. So. Infinix, I am asking you to unmute your mic now, so you can just unmute your mic and ask your questions. Okay, I don't know if they are not with us anymore, but I'm just going to be going next to the next person. So we have Philip Oduaron. Mr. Philip, I am asking you to unmute your mic now, so that you can ask your question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Oduaron Philip. I'm operating from Olumu, Wheelie South.
Okay.
Yes, I'm one of the agents. PayCentre agent operating from Olumu here, Wheelie South.
Okay.
So I'm having some issue. The issue I'm having since yesterday, something around 5 o'clock, I was unable to connect my data. I was unable to connect to my POS. I can able to use the app, but I cannot use the machine. And I don't know what is the cause. And I have that already.
So can you confirm which POS it is that you're using?
Yes, I'm using version 0101.
What type? Is it the MPOS, the traditional POS, or Android?
No, it's just the main one. It's not Android. It's just the other one.
Okay, but it's big, Abby. Is that big one?
Yes, it's that big one, yes.
Okay, so we are really sorry about that. That particular issue that you are having has been fixed now. So my colleague is telling me, let me just confirm what you need to do. So she's telling me that you should try it again. So turn off the device, restart it, then try to do transaction now and let us know. So I will check back on you. So when you turn it on, you go to settings and go to re-download keys. So so just do this now, re-download keys, then try to do a transaction. So I'm going to check back on you now before we end today's session to be sure that the issue is now working. Thank you so very much. Sincere apology for the inconvenience. Mr. Philip. So let me see who else.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, thank you very much.
So sorry, let me check who's hand is up again. So I have Adeyemi. Okay, so Mr. Adeyemi, I'm asking you
They
from your mic.
don't attend to me. I just did that place.
So Mr. Adeyemi, I'm asking you to unmute your mic now. Infinix Hot 11, you also have permission to unmute your mic, so you can speak. You just need to unmute your mic and speak. Same with Mr. Adeyemi. Oh, but pending when they do that, the next I have ITEL. Is it ITEL? No, sorry, I have Kuton Isaiah. So I'm also Kuton Isaiah. I'm also giving you permission to ask your question. Now, please remember to keep your questions around bookkeeping, transaction reconciliation, what we basically just discussed here today. So, okay, so it seems Infinix Hot 11, Mr. Adeyemi and Kuton Isaiah may not be ready to answer their questions. So I'm going next to Yusuf Oluwo. So Yusuf Oluwo's hand is raised up. Or as the person dropped. Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Kuton. Okay. Good
Yes, ma'am.
afternoon.
Good
Yeah, thank you
afternoon.
for
Sorry, I'm having a customer with me. That is why I'm disturbing.
there's no problem. Well done, sir.
My issue is my Android POS. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
My Android POS. At times, if I'm doing transaction, it will close down. There was a day it closed down like that. And at the end of the day, the customer was debited. I didn't even know until I was checking my balance in the night. So I discovered I'm having excess. Before the customer now came on the third day and complained to me, then I have just to give her money. And it has been occurring like that. At times the app will just say close app or wait on transaction. So if I discover that, I quickly stop that transaction and just close that app and reopen again before it now pick up again.
Okay,
it has been occurring, I didn't know why. Then the other thing is the bill payments on the app. Nothing is working on that bill payment on the app.
On the POS.
Yes.
Sorry, can you confirm your location, sir?
Abuja.
Okay, we have an office in Abuja. Would it be possible for you to take the POS there so that because bill payment is working fine, so you might need to take it and let them look at some of the settings.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is one of my colleagues, but just before I forget, one of my colleagues, Juni, will send you the Abuja office address and phone number now. So that they can help, she'll send it to you. Juni, please help me send Abuja's office address to Mr.
No, I have it. I have
you know
it.
the
I have it.
office? Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
I know the office.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
I have it. Then the other thing is during the cash out, I discovered if they charge me after the transaction, if they debited the customer will still have at least some change on their own balance. Instead of, for instance, maybe I withdraw 5,000 naira from the customer's account with the charge of that 100 naira. At the end of the day, the customer will have the less, maybe 13 naira balance added to their own account. Instead of withdrawing that exactly 5,100, they will withdraw 4,900 and 5,000, either 73 naira or thereabout. Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yes.
Instead of balancing of that 5,100. So I normally have that, and I think I do have challenge with customer in respect of that. I will now tell them it's my own money that shorts, not yours.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my boss Ayobami here to just explain this. So Ayobami, did you hear Mr. Isaiah's question about the debit, about us not completely debiting customer the full amount? Do we debit them later, or is it something that just stays there? Ayobami, I'm giving permission to unmute your mic now. Okay, since Abami was not paying attention, let me check if I play Siri.
This machine I'm complaining about.
Siri,
Issue with them.
can you? So let me add our product head. Maybe you can explain that. But meanwhile, I get them, I'm going to ensure that question gets answered. I know that a number of people have mentioned it, but I was of the opinion that we usually debit the customer the balance later. But I just want my team, so I just want my team member to confirm so that I'm sure I'm not giving inaccurate information. Okay. So I have more. Okay, great. Okay, so I have a colleague here that can just help us clarify that.
Okay, yeah. Regarding that question, so we debit them fully actually, but some certain banks. Okay, some certain banks don't send the double alert. Some banks they send just one. Some banks they send the alert comes as a full money. Let's say your customer withdraws 5,000 naira, and if it's GT bank, you see the full 5,000 naira as in deducted from the customer account.
It's how far?
Okay.
Have you guys? I was calling you before you.
Sorry.
You're upset. Have you guys finished crediting all those people that had issues with transactions?
I'm looking for
the ones with receipts.
Sorry, let me meet him. Okay, all right, go ahead, Shay. So sorry, I think Abami didn't know that it was unmuted here.
Okay, so when they withdraw 5,000 naira, some banks, I know for GT Bank, for UBA, they get the full 5,000 naira as debit, but some other banks just get 4,970 something naira as debit alert, but when you check their normal balance, that full 5,000 naira was deducted. That is just the way it is with the system for now. So they still get, we remove the total money and you get your own part into your wallet. So that is the way it is. They get fully debited. But at times it just doesn't show, like they don't get debit alert twice. Some get it once. Some they even don't get it at all. We know the way debit alert comes from. At times you even get late debit alert. You withdraw today, you get the debit alert the following day. So, but we debit them fully. I think that answers the question, Laura.
Yes, it does. Thank you so very much. And I was even going to say, because I know myself, sometimes when I do transactions, like bank will send me one debit, I can get like 3 debits and it's just small amounts. One can be 20 naira. So, sir, it's not your money that is going. We debit the customer completely. Maybe they just didn't get the full debit alert. So thank you very much, Mr. Isaiah, for bringing that up. So I'm happy that we're able to clarify that. So now I'm going to our next person with question. Please, we really appreciate if you can get questions around bookkeeping and transaction reconciliation. I know that our expert panelists, they did a wonderful job. They were really clear. Everything was well detailed. So it would be great, for you to also to ask questions about that. So I'm up ITLP 32, so you can speak. We'll be happy to take your questions now. Good afternoon. Okay, I think Infinite.
How much you want to collect?
Oh, okay, yeah.
700. They will charge you 100.
Mr. Isaiah has gone to attending to customers, and this is what I love about this business. You're making money every time. So ITLP 32, you can now ask your question. So while I wait for you, let me I think the next person after that is, we may not be able to take, okay, I have Adebayo Agbola Oyewole. So I am also, okay, actually it's Emmanuel Amos. So Emmanuel Amos, then Adebayo. So you can now, okay. Who is speaking? Okay, Mr. DM. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel Amos from Lagos.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr.
Emmanuel Amos from Lagos. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Nice to have you here. Thank you.
I want to thank Funmi Kolawole and Oluwafemi Abidemi for the good enlightenment. My question is concerning the example of financial transaction. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, yes,
Now,
we have received, so we can hear.
the issue I'm having is about ensure you keep receipt, as in keep your receipt. No, I have 3 PayCentre machine. I have the POS, I have the big one, and I have the Android. Now, when you print, you print out 2 receipts, one for the customer, one for yourself. Now you discover that as time goes on, the receipt will be faded. So what do you do concerning that one?
Okay, so I
Do you
think
understand the
Mr.
question now?
Yes,
That is number one. That's number one. Then number 2, Mr. Oluwafemi says something that we need to be friends to our agent portal, which is very, very true. Now, because they will reverse money. Maybe you made a transaction and the customer was debited and your wallet was not credited. When the money is being reversed back to your wallet, there should be a notification that the money has been reflected in your wallet to add the money to your own capital. So in the course of, because it happened to me on the 31st of May this year, I made a transaction of 7,400. So a road successful in which I paid the customer, but the money was not reflected in my wallet until 8th of June. They have sent the money to the other wallet, not the one that I used for transaction. So I did be that I was notified that the money has been reversed to my wallet. I won't have any problem, but I keep on calling, sending messages. I don't know. So maybe I should put it to PayCentre. If a money is being reversed to our wallet, they should notify that the money has been reflected. Then another question is this, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
If PayCentre can help us to be sending our statement of transaction every month, I think that will be very, very pleasant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. And okay, so Mr. Femi, do you want to answer the first question? He asked about receipt keeping. So what do you do? Your mic is muted, by the way. You can unmute your mic.
It is very essential for us to keep our receipts, most especially those who are using the big POS, because there will be some time that money will be reversed back to customers' accounts. The customer that come for withdrawal, and later on the same customer went to bank to lodge a complaint that so money has been deducted from our account. And if the bank fails to make further investigation, they can actually debit agent account, and they will later credit the customer's account. But if there is a proper receipt of that transaction being kept somewhere, you can actually go there and use it to defend yourself that look at the transaction. The transaction was successful, not like maybe it was a fraud or any other thing. So it is very essential. At least you should keep receipt for 6 months. At least for 6 months before you dispose it.
Mr. Femi, try to understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, you print out 2 receipts.
Okay.
One for the customer.
Yes.
And one for yourself.
Okay.
But you discover that with time, the receipt is faded. So
yes.
What do you do? Because I have enough receipt here.
Yes.
But most of them are faded. So what do you do in that case?
In that situation, that is why you have to record it in a book. If you write it in a book, it will be there. That so transaction was carried out so date. So if there is any problem with that transaction, all you have to do is to ask for the customer's ATM card, the last 4-digit number. You will be able to use it to trace it from that transaction record.
Mr. Fem, please, can you share your screen again and show this particular part you're talking about?
This, okay.
Is it possible? I think because if someone asked in our Q&A session here that can you show the headings? So just show that part where you were showing the record that you kept from the transactions. Just scroll to that particular sheet.
Look at this.
Mr. Femi, I have my record there. I kept my record the way you do that, the same way I did it here. Do you understand?
Okay.
But I'm asking this question on behalf of some of our agents.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Can I make a suggestion, sir? Can they snap it? So I'm thinking, okay. But I just wanted to make a suggestion. So I get what you're saying. If the receipt is faded, so especially if you have, so what I would say, I know that you can't, finish taking like keep receipts forever or take pictures of all receipts. So for example, if I have a transaction that you feel like this transaction, there's a problem with it, especially maybe it was failed, customer got debited and it's not being resolved, and you feel like the receipt might faint, what I would advise is that the receipt, the word on it might fade off, is to snap it, at least until it gets resolved. As well, apart from like the record keeping you are keeping, and also like that you have it on your portal. Don't forget that you also have the transaction on your portal, which you can print out as well for any particular transaction. You can filter any transaction you've done, apart from some missing transactions that we've now resolved. But for any transaction, you can go to your portal, you can actually print it out, or you can just snap the receipt as proof. So I wanted to just add that. Also, Funmi wants to respond. So Funmi, you can unmute your mic and just respond to Mr. Emmanuel as well, because this question is actually very, very important. Okay. So Funmi,
all right. Yeah, thank you, Muraola, and thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for your question. Very good question. Okay, so I know you picked that from my slide. I said ensure you keep receipts. So what I refer to is, for instance, you pay rent and your landlord gives you receipts. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's important that you keep record, you keep receipts, but how many receipts can you keep? I mean, for your cash out transactions, you also want to save up on stationaries while you print out receipts for your customers and you print out receipts for yourself. Is left for you to decide how best you want to undo that. The most important thing is proper record keeping. But when I say ensure you keep receipts, what I refer to is receipts that relate to your expenses, rentals, you're buying anything, the receipts that you get for that transaction, keep it, because we refer to it in accounting as source documents, so that if you, maybe you're preparing your books of accounts and you say, this is how much it cost me to get this thing, and someone is saying that cannot be true, show me evidence, show me receipts to prove that this is how much you got this. So you can easily bring out your receipt to say, here it is. This is, this is the receipt I got when I bought this item. It can be fan, it can be anything. So that's what I actually refer to in my slide.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Please, our coordinator or anchor,
yes,
please, I want to send you to PayCentre with all humility and respect.
Yes, sir.
No, we are loyal customer to PayCentre. But anytime we call on them, please, they should attend to our response. Because most of the time we are in hot seat when the customer begin to display. Do you understand? Please, yes. When we send them a message or when we chat them or we place a call to them, they should please attend to us fast. I know most of the time there may be issues, but they should let us be aware. Then I brought a suggestion some times ago that if possible, they can create a platform for all the agents, as in a WhatsApp group for all agents to drop their challenges, to drop their suggestion. No, everybody can be carried along, because like the question that some people are asking about the transaction, that they don't know the amount that PayCentre charge. They don't know the VAT. They don't know. No, this is very simple question that some of the agents can easily answer. If there is a group or a platform, do you understand?
Yes,
very,
sir.
very easy. So
right.
I thank you for the time.
Thank you very much,
for the people that you brought to the program. Mr. Femi, thank you very much. Mrs. Funmi, thank you very much. More grace to your able. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Like, we really, really appreciate your feedback. And we're actually working on a forum like that, where all of our agents will be able to interact and, share questions and answers. So we're going to, you are going to be hearing from us soon. Thank you very much for your feedback. So I just wanted to say, I know Mr. Emmanuel touched on missing transactions. So we really, really want to apologize for that. We are really sorry. There was a glitch in our system that caused some of those missing transactions. However, I can assure you that we've credited over 70%. Like, we are going to finish crediting them. We are still crediting, but what we want to implore to everyone is, once someone comes with you for any missing transaction, or you notice a missing transaction, try to get proof of it as soon as possible. If it's a screenshot of the transaction on your app, because what makes the transaction missing most times is that it's not on your portal. That's why it didn't reflect. So if it's a screenshot of, if you use the big POS that print out, quickly snap the printout. If it's a screenshot you have of it on your application or on your APOS, quickly snap it and have it there. So that will help us credit you faster. And we know that everyone has been trying to reach us. Believe us, we are getting all of your complaints. We are escalating them as soon as possible. So we're just wanting the opportunity to just address that. And thank you. So, Mr. Thomas John, I need steps on how to fix the cash out problem on my traditional POS. Can you explain what the cash out problem is? Our customer support will help you with that. So, Mr. Adebayo, I really want to take as much questions as we can because we are rounding up by 4. I have Mr. Adebayo Agbola Oyewole here. So you can unmute your mic. So, Mr. Adebayo, are you ready to ask us a question? I think I've asked you to unmute. Okay, so I'm guessing Mr. Adebayo is not. I have Mr. Adeyemi asking to unmute. Okay, same there. Either their network. So I'm just going to move to the next person. After Emmanuel, person Sulaiman. So I have Sulaiman Ismail. So Sulaiman Ismail, you can unmute your mic now and ask us your question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Still afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
I'm very grateful to join the meeting today. I thank everyone out there for the great work you are doing. There's only one question I want and one suggestion I want to throw back to the PayCentre. That then some platform have a network of the all bank in their portal to check maybe this bank card is very good or not to use, like maybe Access or Zenith, their MasterCard, their Visa card, their BEF card. It's really good to put it in the portal, the way we can check it before you put it in the PS, because many platforms have it. Many platforms have it that they are checking before the session begin. Maybe when the network is very bad, before the customer will use it. We know that if the access network is no good, maybe their BEF card is no good or the MasterCard is no good, then we don't even notify. We just put it inside the machine. Then after then maybe their network is good, they are debited or not. So can PayCentre just put that one in the portal for us to check maybe the network is good or their network is good or not before we start using the ATM for the customer. Maybe after 15 minutes or 30 minutes, we have to be checking it, which network of the bank is good or which network of the bank is not good. For the transfer and for the cash out, I think you can get what I'm trying to say. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, I think I have an idea. I think we do something like this for our cash outs where there's a signal bar on the application that lets you
I
know when the
know,
cash out.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
I
we
know
want
that
us to do it for
you.
banks,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. I know you did recently. That one is last year. You did the one that is bringing a signal for maybe the if it's ongoing. That means the network is good. But if it's on yellow, the network is very good. But if you want the green light, that shows that the network of the PayCentre is good enough. So, but the other hand, for the all the banks network, maybe it's good or not. Some POS is doing it, maybe like OPay, Money Point, and some they are doing it just to check it every 15 minutes or 30 minutes or after 1 hour, just to know which bank is good before they put the ATM into the machine, because that one actually cause a debit of the customer. Because that one I've seen many people that using it, but me I'm using only PayCentre, and PayCentre is not me. I'm using the MPS. I've been joining PayCentre for long, maybe like 4 years or 5 years now. I've joined PayCentre, so that is the one I'm using. So I think if you add that one, it will be good for us to be easily to use. Because me as me, PayCentre not giving problems too much like that, because some people don't have the most experience of using it. Before you can start using your machine in the morning, you have to check your data, then you have to check the machine also. So maybe it's fully charged or it's not fully charged. Then the SIM card you are using, maybe the network is good or not. Because if the network of the SIM is failing, it can because the debit alert for the customer for you not to be credited into your account. So I have many experience like that. So if you can add that one into our portal, not on the app, that one will be being in the portal. So if you want to check it, then you can go and check in the portal which network is good for the bank. Maybe they are Web, Master, and Visa. So for all those banks, so we can be assured. I'll be glad to thank you if you can add that one to the portal. Are you with me?
Yes, partner. Thank you very much, Mr. Ismail. Your feedback is well received, and we are going to work on that. Thank you also for the other feedback where you are able to use your PayCentre application with ease. We really appreciate that much, and the tips on checking your battery if it is fully charged and if the network is stable. We really appreciate all those feedback. Thank you very, very much. We'll definitely work on all those things and to help you keep your business going forward. So we are going to be wrapping up very soon because we are already running out of time.
And I don't want to ask a question again.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
So, and there was an issue that I have maybe in last month, because your colleagues called me. Then I told her that day that then as in NEPA bill now, I want to make a NEPA bill now when prepaid meter. So unfortunately, it was failed in my hand here. But when I checked the portal, the transaction was successful. Meanwhile, the person was getting the token. But I tried to do it again. Then I was debited again. That's me, I debited twice. But the token is between. So is there anyhow the token number and the credit token number to be refunded, or until I find the customer that come and do it, give him the token number to go and load it?
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know if Siri or Paul is on the call. He's trying to know if his token can be reversed. Please, if you're on the call, help us answer this question. Call or a Siri? Hi, a Siri. Siri, are you on the call? Or Paul? Please, you can unmute your mic if you're speaking. But however, in the meantime, you can actually reach us via our support lines, and I think somebody should be able to get back to you on that. Or you can also leave your number here with us.
Okay.
Yes, you can leave your number on the group, and we would give your number to one of us, our support team, to give you a call and help resolve your issue.
Okay.
Is that okay, Mr. Suleiman?
No, that is okay. That is okay. So,
All right, okay. So we would have loved to take as many questions as possible, but like I said, we are running out of time and we have to go so that everybody can continue with their businesses for today. So, but before we go, I'm going to call our Chief Marketing Officer to give us like a vote of thanks. That's the person of Ayobami. Hi, boss.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Just to confirm, everyone can hear me.
Yes, boss, I can hear you.
All right, that's good. So I'd like to thank everyone for making time out of their busy schedule to partake of this webinar and this training. Specifically, I want to thank Mr. Oluwafemi for making the time and for ensuring that the quality of what the information he has passed on to us is something that we know that if we implement this in our businesses, then all of us will be able to ensure that we want profitable businesses that will not have to have any regrets about. So we thank him very much for his time, and also for everybody that has contributed in some way. Apply people from the e-settlement team and PayCentre team. I want to say thank you also. We know that this is the first of many of such lightning sessions that we're going to have over the course of the year, and we're hoping that even as we look for topics, that will help you to improve yourself, improve your business, improve your life generally, that you will always be available to make yourselves available to learn and to improve generally. So thank you all. And for anybody that has any issue, please, all the support lines and all our channels are open. I know that from time to time there are delays, but please rest assured that anytime you try to engage us, we would always reach out to you back. It might take longer than you might want, but we will always reach out to you. And remember, there's also the callback feature on our app. So even when we can't reach you, please just let us know you want us to call you back. Within 2 hours, we will definitely call you back. So make use of all these avenues so that we can continue to communicate and ensure that you have no issues with your business. So thank everyone for making the time, and do enjoy the rest of your day and what's left of the week.
Thank you so much, Ayobami. Thank you so much, everyone. Like I said, we are going to be uploading a recording of this video on our YouTube channel, and we're going to be sharing the link to everyone. Then also, we're also live streaming this on our Facebook page. So it's there on our Facebook page as well. So thank you once again to our panelists and everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy transacting. Bye, everyone. How do I end this?